Good evening, friends. It's a very special day today for all of us. It's being one of the most auspicious days as far as healthcare delivery system, individuals concerned with healthcare delivery system are involved. It is our World Health Day. So on this auspicious day, I bring greetings to you all. And it is my pleasure in sharing few thoughts on the topic yoga as a coping strategy during this special circumstance all of us are in called social distancing or social isolation. It is once said by Aristotle that man is by nature a social animal. An individual who is unsocial naturally and not accidentally is either beneath our notice or more than a human being. Society is something that precedes an individual. Having said that, we are all in a very imposed special circumstance at this point of time across the world. It is called social distancing. To understand what social distancing is, I would like to put few thoughts on it for you. Social distancing is a term applied to certain actions that are taken by public health officials to stop or slow down the spread of a highly contagious disease. Social distancing measures include limiting large groups of people coming together, closing buildings, and canceling events. It's not limited to only selected these, but it can be extended to much more higher levels. Social distancing is generally for a shorter duration of time, and it can be selective in nature. So, probably people can start with bigger gatherings where people gather in large numbers and slowly start bringing it to limiting an individual in one location or a place. Whereas there is another terminology called social isolation. Lots of research has been done on social isolation. Why I have picked social isolation is this is a state which is complete or near complete lack of contact between an individual and the society. There are lots of studies done on social isolation suggesting that individuals who lack social connections report frequent feelings of loneliness, and they tend to suffer higher rates of morbidity and mortality. What attracted my attention was studies done by n number of researchers ranging from 1996 till 2001 suggesting that social isolation can also facilitate higher levels of infections in an individual. It can also lead to depression. It can also contribute to cognitive decline. Finally, compared to health behaviors such as smoking or obesity, much less is known about how social isolation can affect an individual's health. Uh, this particular situation we are all in, called the COVID 19, the influence of COVID 19, the present situation is related to an imposed state, which is a combination of social distancing as well as isolation. Hence, the new terminology, which few people are referring already, is social distillation, combining social distancing with isolation. If I want to just say few ideas about what social distillation is, it is complete social distancing with an imposed partial social isolation limited to one location. So we are all at our residences. We are staying in one location in a contained space of our own, and we are not allowed to move and get in contact with anybody else. So the biggest important thing what we can notice here is there is least physical intimacy with the society, but connected partially through digital media or through technology. A new experience which few are cherishing, I am sure. Many are confused but still exploring the possibilities of converting it into a meaningful period. There are lots of problems which are associated with this, which already people have started identifying and reporting. Social distancing can lead to set of problems like physical, mental, emotional, and professional. Uh, when we look at physical, the major issue is it brings in an amount of sedentary lifestyle. It reduces physical activity in an individual. When you look at the mental components, definitely the quickest thing to get in is anxiety, fear of unknown, then, of course, boredom, and of course, depression. We also have combinations of expressions when we look at emotional quotients, like the first thing what many people experience is a feeling of anger and also a feeling of greed. Why do I say anger? Is that you are missing something which you are so used to. So you are looking for it as early as possible for you to get back. At the same time, greed, because you also have a kind of uh, an issue with your insecurity. So you want to acquire, for example, go to a grocery shop, get as many things as possible. Go to a vegetable vendor, get as many things as possible. So the greed component, which is connected with your insecurity, is becoming very strong. At the same time, the positive emotions like compassion and sadness are also very much connected. Professionally, individuals are facing lots of issues. The mild problems like missing a routine and change of place, working in a non-working environment. Many software engineers probably won't face this issue because they are used to work from home culture. Whereas many professionals for their life, for the first time, they are trying out something called work from home. And there are serious issues like fear of loss of salary, and then losing a job, unemployment, loss of business income, amounting to accumulated debts, etc. People also look at other issues they feel that there's lack of entertainment for them. Initially, they were very happy watching movies, television, on the serials on the television, playing games, reading books, listening to music, trying many other things. As the days pass, entertainment of your choice will be something which start hitting you, and you start missing something. For example, we were all waiting for an IPL, maybe in India, an English Premier League in Europe, and an NBA in America. So certainly, something which you are longing for is not coming in the near future for you, so you miss it. So, eating food of your choice outside your own place and grooming yourself is something which people are missing. And going on a vacation or a holiday, which everybody wanted to do during this holiday season, which is certainly be missed. So the biggest thing what people report nowadays is you are having a feeling of being policed all the time. You go outside the house, there are actual police policing you. You are inside the house, there are people policing you. So be it your children, be it your other family member. So there's always some kind of a policing. So this results in unnecessary emotional irritations, arguments, and you are pushed to do some jobs which you dislike. Probably many people might have not done many activities which you are doing now. Someone is watching you most of the time, so that's consciously you are aware and you feel your activity is being disturbed. So because this is stretching over a period of time, keeping this in mind, we had conducted a global survey which to look at how yoga can be used as a tool which can help in coping in a situation like this. So there were some wonderful findings so far, which is still on the way. I'm just sharing some of the thoughts related to this survey. Surprisingly, for the first time, number of males practicing yoga has increased in this lockdown situation. And also they are using their time to change their health behavior and lifestyle. So this is what is something very interesting with respect to yoga practitioners. Whereas non-yoga practitioners reported higher levels of fear and anxiety, and 42% of them were engaged in workouts and exercise as a common activity. Whereas those practicing yoga reported better coping strategies, improved quality of life, focus on healthy diet, less dependency on substances such as alcohol, tobacco, etc., more balanced mentally, feeling of well-being was very much there. And 20% of them started doing yoga during this last lockdown period for the first time in their life. That was very interesting to note. And how did they start doing it? Of course, they looked at online sessions and videos and they started doing yoga. 60% of the people have been practicing yoga for more than 2 years, which is a very predominant number. So, what it shows that yoga has a serious attribute to actually facilitate your lifestyle as well as your healthy living during a circumstance like social distancing. The basic principles which govern yoga, which govern an individual's lifestyle during a situation like this, can be taken to the most fundamental principles of yoga. I looked at niyamas as the best tools. Today, World Health Organization is suggesting wash your hands, maintain social distancing, lots of hygiene related tips. When you look at niyamas, it first talks about shaucha. So, shaucha is something where you have to maintain hygiene at both physical and mental level. So, whatever you want to do, there used to be a prescription given in yoga that before coming into your house, you please wash your hands and your feet and then enter your house. So, that was the kind of cleanliness what was suggested during earlier times. Santosha is the second one, being contented. I said, circumstances are circumstantial for us. So we have to be contented given whatever we have to live with. And tapas is the third component, which is very important because at any given point of time, when we know that something has to be done in a single focused way, we have to take it as a tapas, means there is no diversions. People used to go to forest and sit for days and months together and to do tapasya to really achieve what they wanted to achieve. This is a very short period. If we have the tapasya bhava in us, we can definitely have remain focused. Swadhyaya, don't feel bored. You always have many things to do. Swadhyaya is one wonderful tool given in yoga self study, and because at the same time, don't study only from Google or from WhatsApp, because You have to be careful about something which is very prominent today is infodemics, because there's too much of information available to you. And the last one is Ishvara Pranidhana, surrendering to a higher force. So these are the ones which you can very comfortably do at your home as prescribed by yoga. So the source of stress in yoga, as you look at, is basically can be rooted to the pancha kleshas: avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, and abhinivesha. In this situation, I pick only abhinivesha, which is actually meaning fear of death or fear of change. So all of us have this kind of an issue, either in different gradations. But what is most important, how do you overcome them? I look at pratyahara as the best tool. Pratyahara means mastery over your senses. I have few tips for you people in next few minutes to give. How do we manage our time which is given to us at this point of time in a more productive way? How do you regulate or control your senses? So one tool I always looked at is hearing is very auditory inputs are very strong. So hence the easiest way to manage is do some wonderful chanting or listen to chants. So this can actually nurture your sense of hearing or auditory inputs. When you come to taste, mitahara is what has been prescribed. Bring a moderation. Biggest problem today is people, in the name of lockdown and social distancing, they are eating a lot. I mean it. Okay, they have four or five different levels of uh, timings available for different delicious food. Probably that can put you into the direction of obesity. Be careful about it. And to manage your sense of smell, pranayama is the best thing. You actually sensitize and desensitize your nasal mucosa by doing pranayama. And asanas certainly help you to really enrich your sense of touch. And Trataka and Dharana and meditation have been found to be wonderful with respect to the sense of vision. Earlier day, Guruji spoke about Viparyaya as one of the wonderful tools to actually overcome the immune confusion what is happening at the present state. And probably there are lots of techniques which we can use. And meditation is certainly one of the most crucial aspect of yoga. So it channelizes your chittavrittis, and what you have to follow is always don't look at simple sitting meditation. There are lots of dynamic meditation techniques which involve physical activity and relaxation. Cyclic meditation developed from S-VYASA University is one of the wonderful tools taken from Mandukya Karika, and short sessions of loud and mental chanting can help in individuals to initiate into meditation. And of course, sound-based meditation can help beginners more than gazing an object outside. So meditation is wonderful because lots of studies have demonstrated that it brings in neural inhibition than activation, and it actually uh, facilitates in controlling areas which control attentional processes. There is activation in these areas and limbic cortex, and this was consistent across several meditation studies done using functional MRI. And meditation regulates inflammatory cytokines, promotes DNA repair mechanisms, and brings in autonomic balance towards vagal dominance. So lots of exploratory studies are conducted on yoga which demonstrated that it probably triggers something which even we don't know today as an underlying mechanism. So there's a lot to be understood, lot to move forward. Hence, in a condition like social distancing, it is very important for all of us to actually move in a very positive direction. So my simple prescription would be like, uh, in a situation like COVID-19, is that this is something which is immediately perceived risk, and strengthening the immune system and respiratory system can help us manage the same positively. So pranayama and relaxation plays a very key role. Dynamic Surya Namaskar and asanas can provide you needed physical activity. WHO has recommended 120 minutes of exercise in which is needed per week as a minimum physical activity. When it comes to yoga, the dosage is absolutely dependent on an individual's requirements as well as lifestyle. So, with this, I would like to give you people some simple techniques or yoga practices for you to add to your own yoga regular routine. So I have brought in the practices which are dynamic in nature. If there are people who are elderly and who have a history of cardiac illness, etc., you have to do it with caution. Otherwise, I have coined it as something called forced sectional breathing. So it includes breathing at your abdominal level, at your thoracic and your clavicular level, but it is done in a forced manner. There are techniques which are given as kriyas in yoga as well as in pranayama in yoga. So at the abdominal level, certainly the best tool to do is kapalabhati, which all of you know. So you can just do deep inhalation and forceful exhalation, and you can do it at your own pace. For example, so when you do it, maybe you can repeat it twice. So followed by this, certainly please do Nadi Shodhana Pranayama after one round or two rounds of Kapalabhati. When you do Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, you please inhale to your deepest possible level and stretch your abdomen and chest and exhale completely, pushing your abdomen inwards. So once you do this, then you can move to the thoracic level, where you can also bring in some movement of your hands along with your thoracic forceful breathing. So you can bring your thumbs up and you can bring your hands forward, and you can start exhaling forcefully, and when you inhale deeply, start with exhalation. For example, okay, so this you can continue as long as you are comfortable to do it. And once again, repeat alternate nostril breathing after that. Very slow alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. And the last one is something like what is also used by Sri Ravi Shankarji's prescription of Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, and also a combination of Bastrika, where you stretch your hands upward and see that your clavicles are pulled up so that the upper part of your lungs are given more room for adding air. So you inhale deeply, exhale, pulling your hands downward. In this practice, please ensure that you are inhaling and exhaling with equal force. So ensure that you are throwing out all that blockages from your sinuses. So even at the end of it, if there is a mild trace of mucus coming out of your nostril, you have done your exercise very well. Okay, so this is the third one, and then do your alternate nostril breathing again. Just to relax after doing all this, please do once again at the abdominal level. You have to inhale and stretch your abdomen, push it as much out as possible. I also call it as an adipose stretching exercise. So push your abdomen maximum. As you exhale, you chant the syllable ah. Make it as long as you want. Similarly, for the thoracic or the chest level, you take a deep breath. Ensure that you are stretching your chest to its maximum. Okay, you see that your intercostal muscles are stretched. Okay, then while exhaling, chant ooh. Ooh. So similarly, for the head and neck region, inhale, stretch your facial muscles. Chant Makara. So all of these can induce an amazing amount of relaxation to you. So you need physical activity, you need relaxation. Breathing is the best tool. Pranayama is something amazing which nobody can even question. But when you bring them together, make it as an integrated approach, you are going to enjoy your life as you are staying home, staying back at home, and you will forget probably the phase of lockdown, and you can help many more at your home, many more friends of yourself, and you can give a direction to the whole community. I would like to thank Dr. Akshay Anand and team for today's session. They gave me an opportunity to get connected with all of you. Yoga is all but getting joined or connected. So the Sanatana Dharma says, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. If we believe in the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, world as one single family, let us pray for the well being of the whole universe by chanting this amazing universal peace chant. Those who can follow, you can join chanting me. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Thank you very much. Once again, wishing all of you a wonderful uh, World Health Day. Stay at home, stay safe, and stay healthy and be happy. Thank you very much.